My sister-in-law, Maya, is such a faker. She told my folks that she's got billions stashed away and owns multiple mansions across the nation, assuring them she'd handle their golden years. To my sister Ella, Maya claimed to run a top-notch entertainment firm and promised to hook Ella up with her favorite male stars. Maya charmed the entire fam, and every time I called her out, she'd bawl her eyes out, saying I was cold and didn't treat her like family. When summer break rolled around, Maya booked a private jet to whisk us away for a vacay overseas. I dodged it, saying I had exams to study for. The whole crew labeled me as ungrateful, but only I knew they were streaming their demise abroad. In my second shot at life, I'm not tagging along to their downfall. I had a plan laid out for our parents. Once Sophie got her break, we'd charter a private jet for a whirlwind trip abroad. I snapped awake hearing that sentence. Pain still surged through me. My mom hugged Maya with excitement, saying, "Maya, you're incredible! I've never been out of the country before." My dad's eyes sparkled, barely hiding his joy. Having such a good wife feels like a gift from my past life. Maya shot me a look filled with pure malice and greed. I tensed up. A chill crept up my spine, and I couldn't help but shiver. This woman was the one who, with her nasty tricks, got us all killed in my previous life. I fought back the fear, grabbing Maya's arm and mumbled aloud, "Sis, you're the best." All my classmates have been traveling abroad, and I've always wanted to go. I'd buy all sorts of foreign snacks, clothes, makeup, and flex them to my roommates. And what about those fancy foreign snacks, clothes, makeup, and showing off to my roommates? And what about those gem necklaces? You're so sweet. You're gonna buy those for me, right? My mom pulled me aside, slapped me, and scolded me. "How dare you use your sister-in-law's money? You'll stay home and handle the house this summer. You're not going anywhere. It's always been like this." Any good things I never got to enjoy. Matt sneered at me, mocking. Your sister-in-law's money is mine. Where do you get the nerve to spend our money?" With my face swollen and tears in my eyes, I cried out, "Why can't you take me, Mom and Dad?" My mom snorted coldly, grabbing my hair and glaring viciously. "Do you deserve nice things?" I endured the pain, trembling not from fear, but from excitement. Only by acting this way would they completely abandon the idea of taking me, ensuring they all end up dead with no one to bury them in my past life. I didn't want to go, but they forced me onto the plane. This time, as long as I acted interested in money and luxury items, my mom wouldn't take me with them. They left when I stayed silent as memories of everything that happened in my last life flooded back. Our family had 3 kids. Jake was the oldest, I was the middle child, and Ella was a year younger. Our family was struggling before, but things turned around when Ella was born. They all thought she was a lucky star, showering her with love. And Jake, being the only son, was set to inherit everything. Stuck in the middle, I got overlooked or inexplicably caught in beatings, until Jake married Maya, the first kind person I ever met. Maya was young, gorgeous, gentle, kind, capable, and loaded. She claimed she had mansions nationwide, letting my parents retire wherever they wanted. She said she could help Ella meet her favorite stars. Even for me, she said if I flunked exams, she'd secure me a position at her company. I refused because I discovered Maya wasn't as wealthy as she claimed. She's a compulsive liar. Everything was fake to win over our family, but whenever I expressed doubt, she'd cry, saying I was cruel and didn't treat her as family. And my parents and brother would scold me for being ungrateful. Later that summer, Maya chartered a private jet for a vacation abroad. As soon as we landed, we got kidnapped and thrown into a forest, forced to survive a week without food. Suddenly, supplies appeared, sparking vicious fights among us. We encountered the kidnappers again, forced to sacrifice someone to escape. Naturally, I was the sacrifice. After enduring inhuman torture, I died and became a ghost, following them. It turned out Maya had arranged a death live stream with others. Countless people watched and cheered on secret sites, placing bets and paying money to pick our deaths. Maya wasn't from a wealthy family at all. She was a fugitive looking for a quick fortune. But this life, I would watch them fight and die one by one. Not long after, Ella was on vacation too. She gleefully hugged Maya and gushed, "Sis, you're awesome. I've dreamed of going abroad." I'll brag to the roommates big time. Mom sat munching on sunflower seeds, laughing. "Tell your sister-in-law to buy you some designer stuff, So your classmates are jealous. If you need more money, ask Mom. Ella burst into laughter, burying herself in Mom's embrace. I cooked dinner for everyone, as if all the joy outside the kitchen had nothing to do with me. Maya noticed and called out, "Sophie, we're leaving tomorrow. Time to start packing." Ella pouted, unhappy. "Why take me? She ruins the fun." Mom glared at me, signaling I shouldn't agree. I stayed silent and added another dish. At dinner, everyone excitedly discussed places to visit and things to buy. Quietly, I ate, my eyes revealing a hint of longing. Maya smiled, pleased, and put more food in my bowl. I was hesitant to eat. Jake frowned, scolding. "Anna, what's your problem? Your sister-in-law's so good to you. Show some gratitude instead of attitude." Ella muttered that I was ungrateful. My parents glared at me disapprovingly. I gritted my teeth and ate it all. Soon I broke out in hives and struggled to breathe. Panicked, they rushed me to the hospital. "Severe allergy," they said. Maya's eyes reddened, gripping my hand, blaming herself. "Anna, I'm so sorry." Jake glared at me, acting like it was my fault. "Should have mentioned your allergies sooner," making Maya feel guilty. But he was the one who forced the food on me. I felt like I was drowning in icy water and shivered all over. Maya shot Jake a displeased look. I clutched Maya's hand back, teary-eyed, and whimpered, "Sis, I want to go too. I'm pretty strong enough that Maya almost couldn't keep a straight face anymore." When Ella heard what I said, she got really upset and started yelling, "No way, you can't go. You're allergic now, and we'd have to take care of you on the way. We wouldn't even enjoy ourselves." As soon as she finished speaking, I couldn't help but throw up. The smelly vomit clung to Ella's shoes, and she broke down, crying hard. "Mom, Dad, how am I supposed to go now? I really don't want to go out and take care of someone who's sick." My dad looked stern and firmly decided, "You should stay at home and get better." Ella instantly changed her expression, looking smugly at me. Maya just tried to comfort me. "Anna, once you're better, I'll take you out." I looked gratefully at Maya, thankful she could wipe out this family of devils for me. Now they had no reason to take me abroad, and I could escape the fate of being killed. But they were the ones who'd face the consequences. After getting some meds, my parents took me home. To celebrate their trip abroad the next day, my parents whipped up a feast. Having just thrown up, I could only stomach some rice soaked in water. After dinner, I lay in bed, hoping to rest a bit. My mom yelled angrily again, "Anna, don't think being sick means you get out of chores. Get out here and help your sister pack." Ella sat on the couch with her legs crossed, watching a drama, and said casually, "Mom, I don't want Anna to pack for me. She's so basic. If she packs something ugly, how can I take nice photos?" Fine, I'll just direct her." Ella's room was way bigger than mine and more tastefully decorated, showing my parents' obvious favoritism. We're only a year apart, but after she was born, my dad got rich and my parents spoiled her. When she was little, she had countless floral dresses, while my clothes had patches as I got older. Even though my grades could get me into the best schools, my parents didn't want to spend on living expenses in big cities and insisted I stay local for college. But when Ella didn't get into a good university, my parents paid for her to attend an international partnership school, with tuition costing thousands each year. At this point, money was no issue. They just didn't want to spend it on me. I chuckled bitterly. Ella sat on her bed, bossing me around. "Take that t-shirt, that skirt, and that jacket too. And don't forget the makeup and skincare products on my desk." I packed them all into the suitcase. Suddenly, Ella paused, leaned in, and grinned triumphantly. "Anna, these are all gifts from Mom and Dad for me. Don't be jealous. They love me. They're little lucky star, not you." "Don't worry, your lucky star status means you're soon all gonna die together with Mom and Dad. One big happy family." Thinking this, I sincerely suggested, "Ella, all this will make your luggage too heavy for the plane. You might as well bring nothing, considering abroad, your sister-in-law can buy you all fancy brands, right? I've never even used brand names. I'm so jealous." Hearing my flattery, Ella became even more smug, practically grinning ear to ear. She thought for a moment and went to sweet-talk our mom. Mom lightly patted her head, smiling and nodding. Such a picture of motherly love. Ella got her permission and then went to Jake. Jake, of course, was thrilled not to pack anything. They were both equally lazy and indulgent. Early the next morning, they were all out the door. Before leaving, my mom kept reminding me, You can only use the air conditioner for 2 hours a day. Don't stay home and waste electricity. While we're away, go out and work to make some money. You're grown up. Can't depend on us forever. I quietly waited for her to finish scolding and watched them leave. Unfortunately, no matter what I did, they wouldn't see it anyway. I organized my books and headed to the city library to study. In my past life, despite wanting to pursue graduate school at my dream university, my life was tragically cut short because of this trip abroad. This time, without them, I'd work hard and succeed. Studied until after 9 at the library, ordered some takeout at home, pulled out a different phone, typed in the secret website address. The live stream was already on. This time, I needed to see how miserably they'd die. On the phone, my parents and brother were tied up in the forest. Maya hadn't bothered with their luggage since she knew there was nothing in them anyway. Ella curled up in Mom's arms, trembling. My dad looked grim, constantly checking his phone, but I knew there was definitely no signal. Jake stood with his hands on his hips, yelling into the depths of the jungle. "Who's messing around? Do you know who I am? Who my wife is? You better send us back now." No response. His face darkened, helplessly enraged. The night deepened. Temperatures in the forest dropped. All they could do was huddle together for warmth. They were also starving, having barely eaten on the plane. In my past life, they complained about airplane food, and I was lucky to have prepared meals beforehand. Now, without me, they must have imagined they'd eat well once they landed. Little did they know they'd be kidnapped to the forest right after landing. Watching their panic was strangely satisfying, and I kept munching away. Ella was so hungry she turned pale, weakly saying, "Mom, I'm really hungry." Mom clutched Ella, worried sick. Even though we're both her daughters, she never cared about me. Dad and Jake got up to look for some fruit in the woods. Moments later, they came running back, terror on their faces. "Run?" Mom and Ella froze in place. All that could be heard was the terrifying roar of beasts from the depths of the forest. Seconds later, a pack of wolves dashed out, swift as arrows. Mom stood up, but realized Ella was still there. Just as the wolves were about to attack, she shielded Ella with her body. The wolf's sharp teeth pierced Mom's leg, tearing off a chunk of flesh. Mom's face turned white from pain, sweat pouring down her forehead. Yet even then, she protected Ella. Such touching motherly love. But that love was never for me. As a kid, Mom was the one who abused me, beating me for scoring better than Ella, for not coming home to cook, for being praised by others. Eventually, I instinctively shielded my head whenever she raised her hand. Now, it was Ella's turn. All the pain rebounded onto her. I was almost pleased enough to eat another bowl of rice. Dad and Jake grabbed sticks, driving away the wolves. Ella dragged Mom farther away. No human could outrun a wolf. Quickly, they were surrounded. Dad and Jake scrambled up a tree, pulling Mom and Ella along. Blood dripped down the trunk, attracting more beasts. Some tried climbing, others tried ramming the tree. None succeeded, but they terrified the family. They all huddled on the branches, shivering, dazed, and pale. I saw a streamer post a comment, "In 2 days, we'll see if family matters, or if survival does." People cheered below. I knew they were about to face their first real choice. These past 2 days, I went to the library to study during the day, then ordered takeout at night and watched the live stream at home. The family of 4 was huddled on the tree, dizzy with hunger, too scared to come down. If they dared to descend, the waiting wild beasts could tear them apart. This is way more entertaining than any reality show. Taking out the trash, I ran into my neighbor, Carmen. Carmen handed me a few peaches, smiling as she asked, "Why didn't your parents take you with them on their trip?" I shook my head, pretending to be upset. "I had an allergy flare-up before we left, so I couldn't go. I'd just be a burden. Better to stay home and rest." Carmen patted my head sympathetically. "They didn't text you?" I forced a smile. "They just don't bother." Carmen felt sorry and went back to grab more food for me. As she left, she muttered, "Such a shame. Aren't all daughters supposed to be loved equally?" Exactly. Aren't all kids supposed to be treated the same? Why would someone be so biased? Even if they favor Ella, so what? It won't save them from their fate. Now, I'll watch these biased parents and their beloved children suffer. I washed the fruit, sat down, and turned on the stream. The beasts under the tree just up and left, giving them a chance to escape. My dad and Jake were first down the tree, cautiously heading into the woods. Suddenly, they saw a bulging backpack under a tree. They opened it to find a few bottles of water, some canned meat, and the rest was bread. Jake's face lit up with happiness, lifting the pack to head back. My dad's face was dark as could be, stopping him, meeting his confused gaze. If we split this food among us four, it'll be gone in 2 days. Your mom can't walk out on that broken leg. What he meant was, they'd keep the food to themselves. Jake gulped, took a deep look at my mom and Ella, and then hid the backpack. They ate heartily and picked some fruit on the way back. See, when it comes to life or family bonds. But my dad and Jake's actions earned them tips from viewers. They all said, keep my dad and Jake for last. See how they plot against one another. Ella gobbled up the fruit, looking nothing like the rich girl she was. My mom swallowed heavily, giving her share to Ella. Such motherly love, huh? But in desperate times, it means nothing. I bit into one of Carmen's plums, soft and sweet. Delicious. Too bad my mom, dad, brother, and sister wouldn't taste it. At night, Ella couldn't sleep, her stomach growling from hunger. Jake quietly took Ella to the hidden food spot. Ella's eyes lit up, grabbing bread to eat, mumbling, "Brother, how do you find this? I'll tell Mom to come too." Jake shook his head, pointing to the remaining food. "Don't tell Mom, we don't have enough." Ella nodded vigorously after finishing a loaf. I smirked sarcastically. "Mom, your cherished daughter and son will easily drop you." I watched them huddle together for warmth, feeling pretty pleased. At home, I ordered takeout, turned on the AC, perfectly cozy. I did everything Mom didn't allow, but she wouldn't know and couldn't stop me. What they're going through now is all caused by the Maya they loved. My mom couldn't sleep either, glancing to see crumbs at the corner of Ella's mouth. Her eyes sparkled, waking Ella, whispering urgently, "Sweetie, you ate bread? Where is it? Why didn't you tell Mom? Mom's starving." Ella, guilty, lowered her head, staying silent. Mom frowned, her tone harsh. "What's going on? Eating and not telling your mom? Want me to starve? I cared for you for nothing." My dad and Jake woke up from the commotion. Dad saw Jake's guilty face and knew the deal. He cleared his throat. "Since you know, let's make it clear. Your hurt can't come with us and waste food. We'll leave some for you. Survival's on you." Dad tossed a pack of bread and a bottle of water, then left. Mom cried, ripping with pain, unable to move her hurt leg, helplessly pounding the ground. "What did I do to deserve this? We've been married 20 years, and you leave me." Seeing Dad glance back, she shouted at Ella, "Sweetie, I'm your mom. How can you leave me?" Ella hesitated a moment, then walked away without looking back. Mom was shattered, alive but dead inside. Seeing this, I laughed. Her biggest karma was me. Given this second chance by fate means she's destined for a grave. Viewers got excited and started tipping. Someone even tipped 10 grand, deciding Ella's fate. The streamer said it'd be arranged. These days, the weather got hotter and studying felt tiring. At night, eating a popsicle, I tuned into the stream for fun. They finished their food, walking endlessly in hunger. Then, they got kidnapped. Scenes from my last life repeated. Masked captors aimed knives at their necks, sinisterly saying, "One of you stays, the rest go with food. You pick." The wordplay came with a chilling emphasis. Dark shadows clouded over them. "Play? What kind of play?" Ella's face whitened, shaking her head at Dad and Jake. Both chose Ella, Dad's voice somber with fake sorrow. "Understand, we need a son to carry the family name." Jake nodded quickly in agreement. "Yes, Ella, you stay, I'll come back for you." But everyone knew, even if she died, there'd be no escape. Freed, Dad and Jake ran without a glance back like monsters chasing them. Ella closed her eyes in despair, like me in the last life. I was pushed out, sacrificed for the family. The captors left marks of abuse on me. Cigarette burns, knife cuts, bruises from batons. I was in agony, bones seemingly broken again and again. I bit my lip, tasting coppery blood. That's how I knew I was alive. They finally had enough. and a group of them surrounded me. While they were distracted, I slipped through and got away. But I knew, deep down, I couldn't escape, so I threw myself off the cliff, my body shattered. All the pain and despair I had felt was now crashing down on Ella, but her mom, dad, and Jake weren't there to protect her anymore. Those rough hands slapped her face, causing it to swell instantly. One of her teeth got knocked out. Ella cried out loud, full of despair. The kidnappers yanked her hair and smashed her head against a rock, sneering as they said, "Cry again, will you?" Ella's eyes were filled with hopelessness. Her fair skin was covered in marks and bruises. Blood pooled on the ground. Her sobs faded into the wind. The abductors looked shocked, spat on the ground, and said, "Dead already. What a weakling." Just like that, Ella's life was summed up in a sentence. I let out a deep sigh of relief. A weight lifted from my heart. The two people who tormented me my whole life were gone. I covered my face and cried softly. This had been my nightmare for as long as I could remember. Now I could finally sleep well. No more would someone douse me with cold water in my sleep and order me to cook and clean. No one would tear up my homework, discard my beloved things, and then boast, "Nobody loves you." Those who tormented me finally got what they deserved. Yet it was the indifferent and useless men who were the real culprits behind the family's downfall. They were my abusers. I watched their panicked escape and cracked a wicked smile. I'll make sure they never find peace. I used my dad's secret stash of money, hidden behind the air conditioner, to plan their doom. It wasn't a lot, but others agreed with the idea. It was about giving hope and then smashing it. Some even wanted to add me as a friend to share in the twisted fun. They called me a born troublemaker. Staring at my reflection, I saw my eyes filled with bloodlust and unyielding hatred. A born troublemaker? No, this is vengeance from someone who's been reborn. Revenge with no cost. My dad and Jake got kidnapped again. This time, a different group did it. It was Maya, in disguise. Even with the altered look, my hatred for her is so deep, I'd recognize her ghost. Maya clapped her hands, and her crew doused them with cold water to wake them up. Smiling, her voice dripped venom. "Here's your chance, kill the other, and you walk out safely. I'll even pay for someone to escort you and give you a phone to make a call, plus $1,000,000. My dad and Jake's faces twisted with fear and guilt, but in the end, the greedy desire overwhelmed them. My dad, with a fierce look, picked up a large knife and said, "Son, your life is mine. If I survive, you can be reborn into my family again in the next life." Jake was no less vile, wielding an axe. He replied, "Dad, you're old. Give the chance to someone young like me. Let me be the one to keep our family line going." They charged at each other. My dad, once a farmer and laborer, was stronger than Jake, whose life was drained by indulgence. But Jake was young. His moves were quicker. They aimed for each other's vulnerabilities. In the end, after hurting one another, Jake bent down and sliced my dad in half. Blood splattered all over Jake's face. Forgetting his fear, he shouted, "I survived, let me out." Maya handed him a phone as promised. Jake hastily dialed out. My phone rang. I let it ring until it hung up automatically. Jake's expression turned impatient and nervous. How interesting. He killed someone, but was scared I wouldn't pick up. The phone rang again, and after a bit I answered. Jake, panicking, begged, "Anna, save me. They're going to kill me." I scoffed and coldly replied, "Brother, how would I know where you are? Why would they kill you? Unless you left Mom to the wolves with Ella and killed Dad with your own hands." "I saw it all, brother." Jake frantically scanned his surroundings, searching for any trace. Then he broke down shouting, "I didn't kill anyone. I didn't." I watched coldly. If Ella was the overtly hostile one who hurt me, Jake was the sneaky one whispering suggestions. As a kid, he got Ella to pick on me, telling on me to our parents, using every dark trick he could. Would he fear killing someone? No. He only feared his deeds being uncovered, hurting me as a child, growing up to kill family. He feared exposure. Now, I'd seen everything he did. Finally, he cracked and smashed his head against a rock. Seeing him dead and expressionless, I finally felt at ease. A weight lifted from me. I hummed a tune and anonymously sent the sight to the police before going out for a feast. Those who hurt me were dead, and I felt like even solving math problems was a joy. Leaving the library, my phone rang. "Is this Anna? Your mom's in the hospital. Please come over." I was startled. Wasn't she supposed to have died in a forest abroad? Was it a scam call? Frantically, I took a cab to the hospital. Entering the room, I saw my mom, looking weak and frail. Her leg was in a cast. She was skin and bones, lifeless. I never imagined she could survive on so little food. I hid my hatred and approached her. Then she glared at me, spitting venom. "Anna, you were reborn. Why didn't you warn us? Why let us walk to our deaths?" My mom had been reborn too. She had the nerve to ask why I hadn't saved them. Of course, I hated them. I hated my dad's indifference, my mom's favoritism, Jake's and Ella's bullying. Seeing my silence, she tried to slap me. Since everything was out in the open, I wouldn't let myself be bullied again. I grabbed her hand and pushed it away. Weak, she nearly flew off the bed with my strength. She flushed with anger, ready to lash out, but I silenced her with words. "Mom, wasn't it Maya who tricked us, leading to our family's end? Shouldn't we call the police?" It dawned on her then, and she quickly dialed 911. When the cops arrived, she was emotional, tears streaming down. She told her story in bits and pieces, but a lot of it was exaggerated. I knew she wanted more compensation from Maya. Too bad for her. That'll never happen. Maya isn't just a liar. She's broke and on the run. The cop looked at us with pity. The next second, I handed the cop a stack of evidence and said, "Officer, I want to report Derek and Sophie for child abuse and illegally taking my assets." My mom, no, I should call her Sophie now, looked shocked. My dad wasn't Derek. He was Sophie's brother. My real parents died in a car crash, leaving me just 1 year old. Derek and Sophie wanted the big inheritance my parents left me, so they took me in. They lied, saying they won the money from a lottery to hide the truth. When Ella was born, they made up countless lies to mistreat me. I used to wonder why they treated me so badly. Even if I was the ignored kid, it wasn't until after I died that I found out I wasn't their kid at all. I felt so relieved. I wasn't their real daughter. The evidence I gave to the police included records of what they spent on me, account balances from my parents, tons of medical reports, and statements from neighbors and friends. All of it proved that Derek and Sophie abused me and stole my inheritance. Sophie looked panicked and tried to rip up the papers. "This is all fake," she shouted. But to the police, that just made her look guilty. The cops said they'd open a case right away and left someone to guard Sophie. I leaned in and whispered to her, "You're right. I've known all along. I wanted to watch you dig your own grave. You got dumped by your kids and husband. Your favorite daughter was left to die at the hands of kidnappers by your husband and son. Your son killed your husband and then hit a rock to end himself. You've lost everything and everyone. Soon you'll face punishment too. How does that feel, Sophie?" Sophie's eyes widened in disbelief, stumbling back. "You monster! You killed them! I'll kill you!" I slapped her. "Doesn't matter what you say, the cops won't believe you. That trip abroad, Maya's idea, the phone used to stream, Ella's old one, the money, my dad's secret stash, even Jake's cry for help came from overseas. It probably was a scam call, so it's normal not to pick up. What's left for Sophie to blame on me?" By the end of the year, it was freezing up north. On the day of my graduate exam, it snowed. I walked out of the exam room, confident, breathing a sigh of relief. I finally got to take the exam that I missed out on in my past life. I believe I'll pass with flying colors. My sister-in-law, actually Maya, got caught and sentenced for decades. The secret site was busted and a ton of criminals were arrested. Sophie got multiple charges, and over 20 years, she'd spend nearly the rest of her life in prison. The compensation, along with my parents' inheritance, emptied what was left of their fortune. It all came back to me. I suddenly felt whole again. The last thing my parents left me, it finally returned to me. Nobody could take it away. The interview went well too. I bought a bunch of flowers and went to my parents' gravesite. The two of them were smiling at me from their picture. I looked so much like them. How naive was I to go over 20 years not realizing I didn't resemble Derek and Sophie at all? I placed the flowers and gently touched the photo, softly saying, "Mom, Dad, don't worry. I've gotten revenge. Nobody's gonna hurt me anymore. I think I'll pass my exams and I'm doing pretty well. You don't have to worry too much from up there. Move on, because I want to be your daughter again next time. A breeze touched my face, like Mom's kiss. My cheeks felt wet as tears streamed down, hitting the flowers. Mom, Dad, I really wish I could see you just once more. My phone buzzed. It was news that I passed the exam. I did it. I wiped my tears, smiling. See, I told you I could do it. I'll live a good life. Even without you here, I'll be fine. Maybe, just maybe, you're up there watching over me. Or